Hello. So I heard a question the other day that really made me think a lot. And the question was, if I told you to make a list of all the things that you loved, how long would it take you to list yourself? And that really spoke to me because I'm like, that's a good question. Because if someone did just ask me, like, hey, write down a list of things you love, I can't even think of even putting myself. Or if I did, it would be way down the list because there's just obviously there's so many things I love, but thinking of myself as one of the things I love, that's not definitely not the first thing that comes to mind, or even the first couple things that come to mind. But then I was thinking about it and I was like, why? Like, why wouldn't I love myself? Like, it's not selfish. We should love ourselves. And so I've been struggling for months, years, who knows how long. I'm sure lots of people have struggled with self love. Like, many of us struggle with self love. But it's like, why? And so I found the answer to be through doing many different Bible studies and just like talking with people in general, that it's because we find our worth in the things of this world and through people, not through God. And to love ourselves, we need to know our worth. So if we don't see ourselves as valuable or worthy, then we're not going to love ourselves. And so, so when you see worth and value in something, then you're obviously gonna love it and you're gonna take care of it. And so, someone I love fake succulents or just plants in general or succulents, but I kind of killed them. So I love fake succulents. And someone had gotten me a fake succulent one time and I was so excited about it. And so I had gotten it, and then about an hour later, like, I was on my way home, I drove home, and I had set the succulent in my lap. Well, once I got out of the car, I forgot I had the succulent in my lap. So as soon as I got out, it fell and it busted into pieces. And I was like, no, like, I just got this and like it was valuable to me. So I'm like, dang. But instead of throwing that away, I gathered all the pieces and I super glued it back together. And yeah, it didn't look perfect once it was back together, but it was still together and whole. And I did that because I saw the value in it. And it was worth something to me and I loved it. And Jesus is the same way with us. He loves us so much and sees our worth and our value. So when we're broken down, he'll take our broken pieces together and make us whole. And it says in Psalms 34:18, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted. He rescues those whose spirits are crushed. So when we are broken, God is close to us. He's going to be there for us. And so this brings me to my point of we're needing to find our worth and value so we can love ourselves. And we're called to love our neighbors as ourselves. But how are we supposed to love our neighbors if we don't love ourselves? Like, we can't love them fully like we are called to if we don't love ourselves. And so the question is, though, well, how can I love myself? Like, that sounds harsh and terrible, but it's like, it's true. Like, how can I love myself then? Well, like I said, I've been struggling with this for months, years, whatever. But I've come to a place in my life right now where I can actually say that I do love myself. And obviously there's still moments where I'm just like, dang, I don't feel as valuable. I don't feel like I love myself as much as I should. But it's still like I can go back and remind myself, like, I am worthy, I am valuable, and I should and do love myself. And so these are a couple of things that have helped me to find my worth and value so I can love myself. So the first thing is a question: where are you finding your worth? So in my life, I was finding my worth in what clothes I was wearing, how I looked, and like the boy I was with, and things like that. And I feel like a lot of us do that. Or it could also be in what people have said about you, or how people have treated you, or what you own, or what you have, what you don't have, just things like that. So I encourage you guys to think, where are you finding your worth? Because then from that, you can understand not to find your worth in that and learn from that. So, when you find your worth in the world, then you're not going to see yourself as valuable, which will cause you to make decisions that will, in the end, hurt you. So, for example, if, let's say, I don't really go to museums. So let's say if I go to a museum, I don't know anything about this museum. I'm not really paying attention to the little plaques or whatever they're called that like have the description of an item, and let's just say like there's a cup or something, and I'm just messing with it and stuff just as if it was one of my own cups, or like maybe treating it a little better but not necessarily, and then I drop it because I drop everything and it just breaks, you know. Well, if I would have known that cup was worth thousands, millions of dollars because it was in a museum or whatever, but if I would have known that cup was worth that much, then I would have treated it better. And it's with ourselves. I don't know if this is making sense. I hope so. But so it's like with ourselves too. If we don't see how valuable we are, then we're not going to treat ourselves good. We're going to treat ourselves like just like a normal cup that like if we drop it and it breaks, oh, it's fine. But like we are worth so much, and like we're like that $1,000 million cup. We shouldn't just treat ourselves so bad and devalue ourselves. And so, but when you find your worth in God and knowing that He created you in His perfect image and He sent His Son to die for you, no matter what you have done, then not only will you make better decisions, but you'll see how much more valuable and worthy you are, and will start treating yourself better and feeling better about yourself to love yourself. Because the things of this world will always fail us. Like no matter what, the things that we find our worth in, they'll always fail us. But Jesus will never fail us. And so in Matthew 6:26, it says, "Look at the birds. They don't plant or harvest or store food in barns, for your heavenly Father feeds them. And aren't you far more valuable to Him than they are?" And then it also says in Matthew 6:30, "And if God cares so wonderfully for wildflowers that are here today and thrown into the fire tomorrow, He will certainly care for you." So basically, He's saying like God cares about every little thing on this earth and all of His creation, but He's saying we're worth so much. Like He cares for the birds and even a flower that'll be thrown out tomorrow. Like He cares so much for them and values them so much. So what makes us think that He's not going to treat us any different? Like He's going to treat us the same, if not more. Like those are little things, and He's saying like the birds and flowers, those are little things, and you see how much value and care I have for them. Like now multiply that. Imagine how much care I have for you and how valuable you are to me. And so yeah, when that's my main point. So finding your worth in Jesus and in God instead of the things of this world, because not only will they fail you, the things of this world are temporary. So the people come and go, things come and go just in general, but God is never ending. He's always there. And so my first point is to not find your worth. First, figure out where your worth is coming from, and then second, not find your worth in the things of this world. And my last point, which there's many points that like I could have come up with and that can help with this. But the main two that have helped me are where your worth is coming from and comparison. So when we compare ourselves to others, then we're obviously not going to feel as valuable, because there's always going to be someone that's prettier than us and skinnier than us, has more money than us, more successful, smarter, you name it. There's always going to be someone that is more. We're never going to be at the top, and we shouldn't be at the top, but my point is, when we compare ourselves to others, we're making ourselves feel bad because of where someone else is in their life or what they have. But we need to be thankful for what we have and who we are, because we're all unique. And we should also be happy for other people instead of comparing ourselves to them. And I did this a lot, and I still sometimes do this a lot, which is terrible, but I would try to find the bad in people that I was jealous of, and I'd compare myself of, like, yeah, she's pretty, but she's probably mean or something, and that's just wrong. Like, one, I don't know her, and two, like, I should be happy, like, yeah, you go, girl, you're pretty, like, like, we need to be happy for other people and also be happy for ourselves and what we have, because we're all unique and we all have different things. That doesn't mean we shouldn't be happy in who we are just because someone has something that could be classified as better, but we all have something and we should just be happy, and we shouldn't worry about what others have. We should just focus on ourselves and know that we're fearfully and wonderfully made in the image of God. And if you're trying to improve yourself, don't do it to gain value from other people, because again, people will fail you. And if you're trying to make yourself a better person and improve yourself, worry about on the inside, because if you're going to be a better person on the inside, it will reflect on the outside. And it says in 1 Peter 3:3, don't be concerned about the outward beauty of fancy hairstyles, expensive jewelry, or beautiful clothes. You should clothe yourselves instead with the beauty that comes from within, the unfading beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which is so precious to God. So basically, like, we shouldn't be worried about the outside, but on the inside. And it will reflect on the outside how you are changed on the inside. And so what I want to leave you with today is to know your worth not in the things of this world, but through Jesus, and to figure out where you're finding your worth from, and then also not to compare yourselves to others, and just love who you are and be content with what you have and what you've been given, and be happy for other people.